It's time for Money for Lunch, where we feed your brain and your business with supersized portions of business and financial news. Now your host, Bert Martinez.
Hey guys, we are back. My next guest, Geremy and Melanie Heath. They are the power couple, the power duo behind Texas All-Cash Home Buyers, a private real estate investment firm that offers no obligation, all-cash payouts for homes. They specialize in fast sales in less than 24 hours and quick closing in 7 days or less. Homeowners who choose Texas All-Cash Home Buyers are unburdened of tough financial obligations such as pending foreclosures, unaffordable major home repairs, judgment or tax liens, unwanted, upkeep, inherited properties, and unwanted rental properties. Geremy and Melanie, welcome to Money for Lunch.
Hey, Bert. Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
All right. So let's talk about this. What got you guys going in business? What was the thing that attracted you to this industry?
Yeah, Bert. Well, I guess you could probably tell from my accent. I'm pretty sure I've still got my Australian accent, hopefully. But I'm originally not from the
Yeah, you know, I was thinking that you were from northern Texas. But, okay, I see the Australian. Yes, I can see how the Australian thing works, too. Go ahead.
Yeah, I get that all the time. But, yeah, so I came over to the U.S. in about 2006. And my wife, Melanie, is actually originally from San Antonio, where we're based out of now. And I guess for me, when I first came to the U.S., I had a corporate job, and I was in the corporate world, and that's what brought me here. And I met Melanie at work because she was working with the same company. We got married in 2008, and I guess it was right around the time, I can remember the moment clearly, we were heading for our honeymoon down to Mexico, and I was in a bookstore at the airport, and it had dawned on me, wow, I'm going to be in the U.S. for the rest of my life. And it was probably the first time I'd really realized that Australia was, probably further away than ever, and I'd realized that my new home was here. And so when I was in that bookstore, I stumbled across a book on real estate, and I thought to myself, man, it'd be really cool to get into real estate, and, you know, I need something that's going to give Mel and I some more flexibility to go to Australia and be between both countries when we need to. And that's really what got me started. And after I'd read that first book, I got back from the honeymoon, and I was driving Melanie crazy because I just kept reading more and more books, and I kept talking to her about, we've got to do real estate, we've got to do real estate. And so Melanie sort of came up with the idea, you know, hey, well, wouldn't it be good to maybe get a mentor or a coach that could help us with this? And so we searched and searched, and we came across a guy by the name of Tim Taylor, and he's still currently our success coach and, you know, real estate coach. We've worked with him for the last 6 years. But Tim himself, he has a real estate mentoring business, and before starting that, he had done more than 300 rehab properties himself. He'd also owned large apartment complexes. And so we found Tim and went through his program, and that really was what gave us a big head start in building out the business that we have today. Because the business that we currently have today is very similar to the model that Tim had once implemented himself. And I guess, you know, the way that we started, if I was to take you through the journey, it started slowly with me doing it part-time and Melanie doing it full-time, and we sort of stumbled along like that for about 18 months, and I wasn't getting much sleep. And then we suddenly realized, wow, this is maybe something that we could do as a full-time gig, and, you know, maybe we could make this work. So probably about 18 months into it, I decided to leave my company, my corporate job, and that's when Mel and I really went full force together to try to build the business out. And then we worked together for about 2 years doing that, slowly growing, and then we got to a point where we realized, man, we don't have any time to really relax and have much fun ourselves. We need some help in doing this, and so we started to slowly build out our team. And so today, where we stand, we've got, in addition to Mel and I, who are both full-time, we've also got 3 full-time U.S. resources. We have a part-time resource, and then we also have a virtual assistant who's full-time from the Philippines that helps us, and that's sort of our team as it stands today.
Wow. That's nice. And what I like about this, too, is that it really is something that you guys did slowly. Like you said, for the first 18 months, Melanie was doing it full-time, you're doing it part-time, and you kind of grew it slowly and surely. And also, the other smart thing is that you guys got yourself a mentor or a consultant or a coach, whatever you want to call it, somebody who could say, okay, do this, now do this, now take this other step, and really helped you guys speed up the process, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's the game changer for us is really our contact with Tim. And, it's sort of amazing when we look at the business we've got today and the time it's taken, but it's really because we've had somebody show us the way.
Now, okay, so let's talk about this real quick. How many homes do you guys purchase every year?
So far, since we first started, we've purchased over 120 homes since we first started the business. Last year, we did 36 homes, and this year we're on track to do 40 to 50 homes. So we're probably getting up to around 3 to 4 houses a month consistently that we're doing at the moment.
Gotcha. All right, so now have you guys gone back, since you guys have been married, have you gone back to Australia a couple of times?
Yeah, we get back like every at least once a year, sometimes twice, and I'm also lucky that I also have family members that come over here. And an interesting offshoot, I guess, of the business is my sister and her husband, who are based in Australia. They're planning to move over here with their 1-year-old daughter, and we're going to start up our next phase of the business, which is an operation in Austin, which would be great.
Oh, I love Austin. God, I love Austin. All right, so Melanie, let me ask you. Here you are. You're a Texas girl, and you get connected with Geremy. And what did you think about Australia?
I think it's a great place. I love it. It's very beautiful. It's of course, far to travel, but I love being there when we are there. But yeah, I'm through and through Texan, so I kind of told him up front, if you're going to be with me, you got to stay here in Texas with me.
Oh man! All right. So Melanie, when he came to you and said, "Hey, I want to start doing this real estate business. Let's look at this real estate business," what was going through your mind?
I was pretty excited. My parents owned a business, throughout their whole adult life. So I've only known my parents to own a business, and I worked with them for a while, and I always knew that I had the entrepreneurial spirit. And I could also see it in Geremy. So I was pretty excited with the idea.
Yeah, and real estate is one of my favorite things to acquire and play around with, and I have not done it to the extent that you guys have, but it is one of those things that when you look at somebody who has a track record of wealth, sooner or later, real estate starts mixing into that portfolio, because it's just one of those steps to having a kind of a passive entrepreneurial lifestyle.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would agree 100% with that, Bert. And I guess one way that I look at it is, if you think of all of the products that exist on the planet today, the one product that every single person touches without a doubt is a home. And so, I see the real estate industry as the largest industry by far, with the biggest, most valuable products that everybody owns or rents or, lives in some way, which is what creates such an abundance of opportunity as an area to get into. Absolutely.
Real estate is right there along with food, right? I mean, you either have to rent it or buy it, or, you have to use it somehow, and really the same thing with food. It's one of those things that you kind of, can't live without. Let's talk about your process a little bit. Walk me through this. How does the process work when you guys get involved?
Yeah, so we have a simple 6-step process, which is outlined on our website. But basically, once we have a contract, an agreement with a buyer and a contract, we can close with cash in as little as 7 days, which is really our main offering that we have for people, because what we're really looking for are people that are looking to sell their house very quickly for cash. And so the process, from start to finish, it really starts with a seller having that need to sell their property quickly. It may be they have inherited a house that they want to sell quickly, or maybe they're facing foreclosure, or maybe they have a house that requires a lot of repairs, and so they're looking to sell that house quickly. A lot of the time, the house may be a situation where it's a burden for them, and they're looking to get out of it. So they would then contact us, which is the next step, and they can contact us either via phone or via our website, and our website is TexasAllCashHomeBuyers.com. And once they've contacted us,
TexasAllCashHomeBuyers.com. I just want to give out that one more time. All right, so somebody contacts you, and they, obviously you have different type of buyers, because if you have a buyer who just inherited the property, they're going to have a different motivation than the person who's facing foreclosure. And so maybe the person who's facing foreclosure might sell it to you at a deeper discount than the person who just inherited the property. So is that what you're looking for? Is looking for motivated people who are willing to give you a fairly substantial discount?
Yes, typically for us, we are investors. So if we're going to purchase a property, there needs to be enough room in there for us to buy it, fix it, and sell it, and still make a profit. But regardless of the situation, when we evaluate the property, we have a standard formula that we would follow to come up with what the cash offer can be, so that it's the best offer available to the seller, but it's also something that we know, is going to be profitable to us.
Yeah. Yeah, and this is one of the things that I want to kind of make a little touch on, is that you have your standards. This is what we're looking for, and if it doesn't sit within these parameters, that you just kindly pass it on and you wait for the right opportunities, right?
Yeah, and typically, like, we may have to go through 20 or 30 leads to find a seller that actually is in the situation that works with with the offer that we have available. So it's definitely a numbers game, but also on the other side of that, I can say without a doubt, for every single seller that we've worked with, once we get to that closing, they're so grateful for the service that we've provided them. So for them to get the cash and to get the house away from them in such a simple way.
Right. All right. So you bring up this other question. So how long does it take to complete the process? So let's say you've gone through 20 or 30 leads. You now found the opportunity, the seller. It's all a great match. And from day one to day whatever, how long does it take?
Yeah. So from start to finish, from the time they contact us, we would call them back within 24 hours to discuss the property in more detail and schedule an assessment. And let's say that we schedule the assessment for the following day. Once we come out and assess the property, we assess the repairs that are needed and the value of the property. And then 24 hours after that first assessment, when we walk the property with the seller, we then can provide them with a cash offer. So, from the time they call to the time they get the offer from us, it could be as little as 2 days. And then at the point that we have agreed on the offer and have a contract in place, we can then close within 7 days after that. So, in as quick as 10 days from the time that somebody is called, we can the seller can have the cash in their hands.
Gotcha. All right. So walk me through this real quick. What do you guys do with the property? I mean, if you guys are buying 3 or 4 homes a month, are you guys flipping some of them? Are you keeping some of them and putting them out for rent? What is your strategy with the acquisition?
Yeah, so our primary strategy is fix and flip. So we'll find a property that needs repairs. We then have our contractor crews that come in and fix the properties and get them into a state where they could be sold on the retail market. And when I say retail market, the typical buyer that's buying them is a first-time home buyer who's bank qualified. And so from our perspective, when we're fixing those houses, there's a certain standard that they have to be at for the banks to lend on them. So, we're putting the money in to get them up to that standard. And then once they're available for sale, we list them on the MLS and typically the buyers come through realtors, because the realtors are the ones that have these first-time home buyers looking for homes.
Yeah, no, I love that. All right, so let me ask you this: are there any kind of hidden fees or commissions that if someone sells to you, or is it just a straight look? Here's your cash offer. We'll close you in 7 days, or what are they looking at?
Because we're investors and we're not realtors, there's no hidden fees or commissions, which is one of the benefits of dealing with us. Another benefit as well is, a lot of people, especially people that have these houses that need repairs, they don't really want a bunch of people trudging through their house and a bunch of showings and things like that. So, we eliminate all of that as well because, we are investors and we are the ones that are buying the property. So we just have to look at it once, we'll give you an offer, and the offer is what the offer is, and we can close quick.
Gotcha. So if a homeowner has a bunch of repairs and they don't have any money, that's not a problem for you. That sometimes is one of the hidden gems in a situation, right?
Yeah, that's actually what I would consider to be a perfect situation for both the seller and for us, because they're really the situations where we can create these win-win solutions where everyone walks away happy with the deal that we've come up with. Because I guess from the seller's perspective, they have a property that they cannot sell on the retail market because the property does need repairs. So all of the buyers that are bank qualified would not be able to purchase that property in its current condition. So the person selling it really can only sell it to investors who have cash to purchase it. So, we're able to then assess the property and give them that cash offer. And so they're getting money and getting out from the house that needs repairs, but we're also getting a deal that we can then remodel and pass on to an end buyer.
And we've picked up homes that have had major foundation issues. The HVAC has blown out, mold problems, maybe even fire damage. So it's not just limited to it needs paint, carpet, new sheetrock. I mean, we do take on homes that need quite a bit of work.
Gotcha. Now, do you guys cover all of Texas? Do you just stay in Houston? What's your geography?
Yeah, our primary market at the moment is San Antonio, and then we are launching at the end of the year, as I mentioned, in the Austin market. And I do have plans in the future, probably 12 to 18 months from now, I'd like to expand into the Houston market as well, because I see sort of San Antonio, Austin, and Houston, they're also geographically close to each other. It would make sense for us to move into that market down the road.
Yeah. So now are you guys going to move from San Antonio to Austin, or are you going to stay there in San Antonio? Should I just ask Melanie that question?
I think physically we'll be here in San Antonio, and what we would do is, like Geremy said, at the end of the year, we're going to go into Austin, and so we're planning on training his sister and brother-in-law in the business to kind of work that market, but we'll be very involved with it. So we'd probably do something similar for the Houston market.
Gotcha. All right, guys.
Yeah.
So if somebody wants to reach out to you, they can go to TexasAllCashHomeBuyers.com. Is that right?
Yeah, that's our primary website where they could contact us. And they also can call us directly on our office line, and the number for that is 210-698-6166.
Gotcha. So, guys, if you're in the San Antonio market and you want to talk to Geremy or Melanie, check them out at TexasAllCashHomeBuyers.com. Geremy and Melanie, thank you so much for stopping by and sharing.